It's an ordinary day somewhere in China. People are conducting research for the new facility named Unit 731. But the public doesn't know what's really behind these walls, or the people. Here is the story of the most horrific secret building. Unit 731 is infamous for its human experimentation during its existence during World War II. They claimed to the public that it was a water supply and epidemic prevention. The facility was led by General Shiro Ishii and received strong support from the Japanese military. Prisoners brought inside, people from China, Korea, and Soviet Union. It was located in the Pingfang district of Harbin, in the Japanese puppet state of Manchukuo. The facility would be guarded heavily by the staff. They couldn't risk escapees from exposing what was really going on inside. Trains and trucks delivered supplies under the cover of snow, crates stamped with military codes. The staff included 52 Army physicians, 49 engineers, 38 nurses, and 1,000 Army medics. One man in particular, a physiologist in Unit 731, having a special interest in hypothermia. He submerged prisoners' limbs in a tub of water filled with ice and held them there until the limbs were frozen solid. Prisoners were subjected as marutas, or as logs, not people, identities stripped. No documented survivors are known. They couldn't afford survivors. Prisoners were kept in close quarters, windows close to their beds to take samples. Even nurses would watch the children slowly die, the epitome of cruelty. They also performed vivisection, meaning performing operations on live and awake beings. They were infected with diseases such as cholera and the plague, then had their organs removed for examination without anesthesia. Subjects that were used to study the progress of gangrene had their limbs amputated and reattached to the other side of the body, while others had their limbs crushed or frozen. Unit 731 was a fortress. They also set up gas chambers to test subjects with blister agents and nerve gas. They also studied prolonged X-ray exposure, which sterilized and killed thousands of testing subjects. They stored organs like trophies on their refrigerated walls. They studied the human body like they were creating meaningful work. Prisoners were kept under surveillance like animals in cages. They were locked up and deprived of food and water to learn how long humans could survive. In order to study crash injuries, heavy subjects were dropped onto bounded prisoners. Children were treated no better. Female prisoners of childbearing age were forcibly impregnated so that weapon and trauma experiments could be done on them. Effects on the fetuses were studied after extensive wounds. Pregnant women with syphilis was of special interest to the researchers of Unit 731. Everything horrid recorded like this book here? This experiment lasted for 9 long years. Unit 731 studied bayonets, swords, and knives with the use of their prisoners. Hay also studied flamethrowers on both covered and exposed skin. After the body was used up and exhausted, they passed away by lethal injection. Dr. Harris Sheldon estimates that at least 10,000 to 12,000 prisoners died. Not one single patient was given remorse during these experimental trials. Unit 731 raised rats and fleas in order to spread the pathogen that it produced. Pingfang had a target of keeping around 3 million rats annually. These rats were then infected with the plague, and then the fleas were raised on the blood of the infected rats. There were 96 cement pans to breed yellow rats and fleas. The Imperial Japanese Army encased 30,000 active and infected fleas into a ceramic bomb. They used ceramic bomb because ceramic was easily shattered, which meant less of an explosion was required. The plague-infected fleas were better protected with the less heat and pressure they were exposed to. They tested on humans captured to test how powerful these bombs would be. Their mission was solely for biochemical weapons and testing the human limit. After long research, they were ready to release these bombs into the world. This operation is otherwise known as Kaimingji germ weapon attack in Zhejiang province, China. They first used airdropped wheat, corn, scraps of cotton cloth, and sand infested with plague-infected fleas, which resulted with hundreds of deaths. Then they attacked it later in 1942 with troops as well as airdropped the ceramic bombs. Suffered from flesh-eating ulcers. The locals labeled them rotten leg disease. On 28 August 2002, the Tokyo District Court formally acknowledged that Japan had conducted biological warfare in China. 12 Unit 731 members were tried by the Soviet Union in the 1949 Khabarovsk war crimes trials and sentenced to prison. Unit 731 was officially shut down. Many key figures, including Ishii, were granted immunity by the United States in exchange for their research data.